Skipper, what was your reaction when you found out last night it was going to be Washington, and what factors went into making Walker a starter?
Factors. I think obviously all three of our guys deserve the opportunity to pitch the first game against the division series. We just felt that with Walker getting an opportunity to pitch the first game, also potentially at game 5, gives us the best chance to win, and regardless of the opponent.
Lon? Oh, sorry, Andy.
Sorry. Who's going game 2?
We haven't decided yet. We haven't decided yet. Let everyone know.
Walker said the order, in his opinion, is insignificant and that the 3 of those guys are relatively interchangeable. What conversations did you have with them, and did you agree with him that a lot of it's opponent, a lot of it is, home versus road type of situation?
The conversation that we had with all 3 guys, there was a little bit of home road opponent potentially, but we had already made that decision, regardless of the outcome last night. All 3 of those guys were on board with the decision that we made.
Beth?
Dave, I gotta take a chance here since you've gone with 1 and 4. Who's gonna start 3?
Kershaw or Ruth and I don't think the National have announced game 2 or 3, have they yet?
All right. Go ahead.
Does the result of game 1 affect who pitches game 2?
No.
Or it's not?
Alon?
Who well do you think your offense stacks up to their pitching staff and vice versa, now that you have a clear-cut opponent, to be able to stack the lineup a certain way?
Well, if you look at Corbin, Strasburg, we haven't had a whole lot of success against those 2 guys, and I think that the success or limited success we have had against Scherzer, it's very limited still. I mean, he's still obviously an elite pitcher. I think you look back at the starts, we've got more familiarity with Corbin coming out of Arizona, and it's just he's fastball slider, and that's to the lefty, to the righty, and if we can keep him in the strike zone, it increases our opportunities. But if we're chasing below the zone, then it's going to be a long day for us. He's having a very good year, and essentially it's the same attack for Strasburg. He's had his way with a lot of our guys, a lot of weak contact, a high percentage of strikeouts, and we've been victim to the changeup down below the zone. He gets ahead, he puts us with the changeup, and a lot of our guys haven't seen him well. So it's upon us to make adjustments, get him in the strike zone. And Scherzer, yeah, we've seen him, and he's always going to be tough to deal with.
Over here in the corner.
Dave, Julio's had a lot of stops and starts in his career. Where is he now, and where is he on that totem pole as far as being a guy we want in high leverage situations?
Julio has done a tremendous job for us in whatever role we put him in, and his adaptability for a young player is remarkable. I certainly see him in a high leverage situation, regardless of handedness. This lineup in particular, albeit very, very, very dangerous lineup, but I think Julio matches up with all these guys. So I think that this series, yeah, he can play pretty big.
Dave?
I think it's safe to say with the years Seager, Muncy, Bellinger have had maybe a little bit less of a platoon against a lefty and Corbin. So who are some right-handed bats we safely could see in the lineup tomorrow?
Will Smith is going to catch, so there's a right-hander. You'll see Pollock in there. You'll see David Freeze in there. you see Chris Taylor.
Speaking of mentioning some names here, who is your, you said there's going to be 8 relievers. Would you be willing to name them right now?
No. No benefit.
Will we see Justin Turner in there?
Yeah, Justin Turner, I'm sorry, yes.
So he's still in there?
Yes.
Back here, then Dave.
Dave, you mentioned how often Corbin throws his slider, almost 150% of the time. Why do you think that pitch is still so effective, even when guys can maybe expect it at certain times?
It just comes out of the same lane as his fastball, out of the same lane window. It's the same thing that makes Clayton so successful. You know, you just can't see the spin, and it just has, it has more sweep than Clayton's does, but the point being is that it's hard, it's in that same window, and then it has the depth and the horizontal movement. It's just hard to pick up.
Dave, you guys saw Juan Soto a few times during the regular season. Do you feel like he's a better hitter now than what you saw then as far as what you've seen on video? And how do you get around not allowing him or Rendon beating you guys?
I don't necessarily think he's a better hitter. I think that we pitched him well against, but he's, as far as looking over a baseball, staying in the strike zone, he's top few in the game. And it's amazing his age, given his age, the ability to look over the baseball, to slug to all fields, hit lefties, righties, cover the ball at the top of the zone. Yeah, you got to be very smart, because if you make a mistake, he can really hurt you. And you've obviously got, you know, Rendon behind him. So, yeah, that's a tough 3-4 to navigate. It really is. But they kind of, they're 1 through 4 or 5 or as good as anybody in all of baseball. But again, for a young player to have the plate discipline that he has, it's very rare.
Hey, Dave, over here. Just a quick follow-up to the line of question. Patrick Corbin's been especially effective against lefties this year. Were his splits enough to give you any pause whatsoever about starting some of the usual left-handed hitters? I know we view these guys as everyday players, but the likes of Corey.
No, but I think that the way Corey's come on, certainly in playing shortstop, and obviously the year that Cody's had, the year that Max has had against left-handed pitching overall, but against left-handed pitching in particular. So it was pretty easy.
Last couple for Doc, Stephanie.
Dave, you said something last night we were talking about, somebody asked you about getting guys ready to go for the postseason mentally, and you said if anything it's more of a challenge to get them going in the regular season. How do you keep them from looking so far ahead in, July and August?
I think it's just a constant or consistent message of just try to win a baseball game, and I think our guys fortunately have bought into that. And because when you're sitting in July and you're thinking about trying to win a World Series, it makes July and August and September, you get disinterested, and that's not the way you kind of go into or finish the season out. And so our guys, to their credit, that's why you win 106 games, by staying focused all year long. And to their credit, they've done that. But yeah, they're looking forward to the postseason, where every pitch is really, more highlighted and has that much more importance. But I like where we're at.
Has that been different the last 3 years? And have any of the seasons felt different in that way?
No. I think that, even looking at, I think it was obviously last year we got at the gate slower as far as on the win-loss, but I don't believe that it was because we just didn't want to come out and play hard. We just didn't win baseball games. But I do think that the consistent messaging is important for myself, from players themselves. And I think that if you look at the 4 years that I've been here, we've been pretty consistent like that, I think. And we've had success in the postseason and some unsuccessful times. But right now, where we're at, health-wise, mindset, all that stuff, we're in a good spot.
One more.
When you look at some of the star power of starting pitchers that are in this series, does it feel like a little bit of a throwback to you in an era where bullpens are so important, or is this still a game that's about starting pitching?
It's about starting pitching. That's a good question. I think that obviously you're talking a lot in recent postseasons about bullpenning and third time through and all that kind of stuff. But if you look at the Nationals, I think obviously the Astros and us, it's heavy reliance this year on starting pitching. And so, you know, I know Davey, and I know the confidence that he has in his starters, and you know, he's going to rely on those guys, and as am I with our guys. So it is sort of, but having the support of 8 very competent guys in the pen that we have, I feel very comfortable with matches going forward. But the 3 guys are going to run out there. Again, I really have a lot of confidence in where we're at. But yeah, there's certainly a little ode to the old school kind of starters and get after it.
Thanks, Doc.